right, guys, first guest of Millionaire Podcast, Bashar Kato. He's been my mentor for a long time, guys. I know him for, at this point, 7 years. He's been giving me some insane advices in my business life, entrepreneurship journey. Very excited to have him here. Whenever I see him, it's so much value that I get out of it. That same day, I go to bed with so much excitement. So today, we have you for the first time. Very excited, bro. I can't stop smiling. You're like an older brother to me, but you're also a mentor, entrepreneurship journey coach, whatever you want to call it. Welcome, bro.
Yeah, thanks. It's an honor for you to call me a mentor, you know, because I see us as equals. I always say you can learn from, anyone, and I always learn from you. I just learned something from you. Literally, just as you were setting up, I was messaging my marketing team. I'm like, hey, man, this guy that I know, he's testing the stuff. We need to test it, go. And every time we hang out, I grab a few nuggets from you. So the fact that you call me a mentor it's an honor.
Man, I don't forget where I started. So when I started, it was you. I was already doing just a little okay, and I was doing well for myself. But whenever I met Bashar, guys, I took my to the next level. It was crazy. I'm even getting goosebumps right now. So we used to live in the same building, and I would see him at the time when he was living in San Diego, about 6-7 years ago, right?
Yep.
And I would see his YouTube videos, and I knew him by face recognition. I knew him, and whenever I saw him in my same building that I live in, I got really excited. So I went up to him at the gym first, and he was working out. He was pretty busy, and I thought if I go to him, we can speak about business. He's selling on Amazon too. And then conversation went along, but he was working out, so didn't get each other's numbers. Then I caught him on the elevator another week, and then we got each other's numbers. And then from there, it's history. We started seeing each other, and then
you would make me coffee. Hang out at by the pool, you'd make me coffee.
Yeah, that was fun. But bro, quick intro about yourself. What do you do? We're both in e-com.
Yep.
Some people already know him actually from my content, but what do you exactly do right now? What's your past look like?
Well, your audience might look at the BJK and think it's the soccer team. It's not the soccer team. It's my company, BJK University.
Not Beşiktaş, guys.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Started my entrepreneurial journey when I was, sometimes like Mark Cuban and other people talk about how since they were a little kid, they sold lemons or had a paper route or something like that.
Yeah.
My entrepreneurial journey did not start until I was a teenager. I was like 17 to 19 years old when I actually thought about becoming an entrepreneur. Because when I grew up in Iraq, and in Iraq, you don't really think too much about entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. There's really not a whole lot of thought of the future, I guess. And then 2003, I was only 13 years old when the war happened, so really weren't thinking about the future at all.
2003, you said, right?
2003, yeah. But my mom, from an early age, convinced me that I should become a doctor. So I wasn't even thinking about entrepreneurship until I came to America, and it was the first couple years after high school that I started looking around and really started wanting to started thinking about what would it look like if I became an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the seed started being implanted in my mind. Anyways, fast forward to 2015, I started selling on Amazon after a restaurant that I owned burned down and wanted to recover the damages and pay down my debt. 4 years into it, I started helping a few people. They started getting results. So I realized, okay, I've got something that not only has impacted my life, but it can impact the lives of others. 2019, I launched BJK. At the time, it was Bashar JK2, so that's where the BJK come from. Yeah. Started coaching people on how to sell on Amazon. And then a year later, BJK University was actually founded. From 2019 to about 2024, we were teaching people how to sell on Amazon. Mm-hmm. But the mission of BJK University from day one was to impact 1 million lives by 2030 through empowering families with skills they can turn into income. And so from the very first video that I ever made, I always wanted to have many different ways I can teach people how to make money online.
Yeah.
About 4 months ago, we launched another vertical, another skill, where we teach people how to leverage AI to help small businesses increase their top line, increase their bottom line, and pretty much profit. We call it the AI Business Strategist.
Do you work with directly with businesses or?
So our clients are 9-to-5ers,
Uh-huh.
same avatar, same type of prospect that would be interested in learning how to sell on Amazon. But their clients are businesses, small businesses. You know, your moms and pops, your HVAC company, your contractor, your plumber, your electrician. They help them install certain systems, whether if it's automated phone assistant, whether if it's automated chat support, whether if it's invoicing, whether if it's calendar appointment setting, all that kind of stuff. That's what they help them with. So that's essentially what we do right now. And over the next 3 years, we want to build the AI infrastructure for labor force that will get deployed into small businesses. So right now we're certifying people in how to become certified AI business strategists. Next thing is building a platform, kind of like an Upwork, but for AI operators, and then building software. And then we want to have $1 billion exit by 2029.
2029.
Yes.
Why not 30?
Because my goal is to become a billionaire by 40, and and I'm 40 at 2030.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
I better do it a year before, so I have a whole year if I.
This is why I love this guy, because he has very, very precise goals. Super specific to a point where he has an exact date of, I'm going to reach this goal. My stocks in the stock market are going to be this much by the time, and I'm going to be a billionaire at the age of 40. All of those, like, I'm going to eat 4,000 calories this Sunday. Bro, all of that, so crazy. And you're like always on point. And one of the things that I really admire him is, today he came from an hour away. His home is in Sunny Isles, where all the Russian rich people live in Miami. So his home is there, and he came from an hour away, but he knew exactly that he was gonna be here at 4:15. Because I told him a week before, let's meet up at 4:15, and his estimated time of arrival was 4:15. It's how crazy is that with all the traffic? How can you calculate it that precise, bro? That's crazy.
It's pre-planning.
Man, it's crazy. Well,
intentionality.
How do you know the traffic, bro? That's crazy.
No idea. I don't know. It just happened. It just happened, you know?
And he was here exactly at 4:15. I'm like, are you here like from the morning you're preparing to walk
Just
here?
walk up, 4:15. Yeah.
But coming back to your goal, I wanna go back to the first times that you started your journey. So you came from Iraq at the year of what?
2006.
2006.
Yep, I was 16 years old.
You were 16. First of all, you're one of the best English-speaking people that I know that didn't learn and grew up with English.
I didn't know. I landed in the airport without a single word in English. Did not know anything.
Going back to when you were 16,
Yep.
how would you recommend people learn English right now?
Well, first of all, I know you say that your English is not well. Your English has gotten like 1,000,000 times better since we first met. So I would say practice makes perfect, just like anything. I remember in high school and in college, I learned Spanish. And I actually could put together a few words and a few sentences and like hold myself together. But then because I stopped practicing it, like now I can, like I know I can probably formulate a couple sentences. If you throw me in Mexico, I can probably get around, but like nowhere near what I was and where I should have been by now. So I would say, putting yourself in scenarios where you're actually practicing is obviously the best way. But for me, what I did when I came here, so I remember it was the first like couple of weeks or something like that. No, I was actually still in Iraq, I believe, or on the way here. I don't know. Anyways, my brother was talking to my aunt who had been here in America for 20 years. And she had to go to the store and ask for a pen so she can write some information or whatever. And I remember living in Iraq, not knowing English, but the way she was speaking English, I was like, she's been in America for 20 years and that's how she speaks English. You could tell it was some like scrambled English, thick accent. And she had come here when she was young and she'd been here for 20 years.
20, oh my God.
And I was like, all right, I want to make sure that whatever I do, I don't sound like that, 2 years from now, let alone 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So when I came to America, we had 3 months in summer before school started. I made it my mission to learn English.
Yeah.
So the very first thing I would do is I picked up a dictionary. The second thing I did is every time I would hear a new word that I did not know, I would write it down. And I had an Arabic dictionary and an English dictionary. So I would find what it meant in Arabic so that way I understand what it is because that's the language that I spoke and wrote and stuff like that. And then I would put that word in a sentence, right? And then at the end of each day, I had like a dozen new words that I had learned. I would go home and I would spend about 20, 30 minutes reading those words and learning them and then putting them in sentences. Then at the end of each week, I had, let's say, 30, 40, 50 new words. I would study them once a week. The following week, I would do the same thing and I would go back to all the words that I had studied. So let's say if week 1, I had 30 words. Week 2, I had 30 plus 30 from the previous week. Week 3, I had 30 plus 30 plus 30. And I would go back and I did that for 3 months.
Whoa.
Right? So that was the very first thing, just to learn that. Then I focused on grammar. I hate when people don't use past tense and present tense and all that stuff. I'm just like, dude, like what the you don't even care, you know?
Yeah.
So I really paid attention to grammar because I really wanted to sound intelligent,
Yeah.
you know?
One of the examples to that is, I don't make that much grammar mistakes nowadays.
Yeah.
But my American friends warn me with, when you say thanks God, that's wrong. It's thank God,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
But thanks God make more sense, right?
Sure.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
So you should have to be American or spend some time here to know that it's not thanks God, it's thank God.
Yep. Exactly.
So it's like one of those things that I sometimes still do,
Yep.
say in a wrong way, but in general, like the grammar mistakes are gone now.
And that's good. And that's the best thing, because let me tell you, especially right now when our business is in a process of like we're growing, we're scaling, that kind of stuff, and we are in a place where we can hire globally, right? Like for you, a lot of your team is Turkish, right?
Yeah.
But for us, they're from everywhere. And the problem that I have oftentimes is because we don't have a physical presence. We are all online. And we have people from South America, we have people from Asia, we have people from Europe, and we're all speaking English. And sometimes a certain word misspelled can mean something completely different, especially when you're typing versus like, I'm in front of you or whatever. So it's really important, especially as a leader, for me to like come across very clearly. So that was the second thing. The third thing was the accent. I really wanted to pronounce things correctly.
Yeah,
Until now, there are some things that I still don't know how to pronounce. And sometimes I really had like ridiculous. I really have to like say it 3-4 times for me to get it right, But those were the 3 things that I did, and just having intentionality about it,
Yeah. Man, I still sometimes, my wife tells me that I'm such a fob. I'm like, what do you mean fob? She's like, you don't know what fob mean? I said, no, it means fresh off the boat. I'm like, I've been here 10 years. I'm not fresh off the boat. I'm off the boat, yes.
Yeah, but not fresh though.
Fresh though. So bro, walk us through the journey where your restaurant burnt down. So you first started by opening up your own restaurant. You went into debt. How did that restaurant burn down? What happened?
In 2006 was when we came to America. 2009, I believe, about 3 years into it, we wanted to like start, owning our own place. I come from a Chaldean community, so we're Catholics of Iraq. And especially in San Diego, they're pretty wealthy, And a lot of them, own their own businesses, liquor stores, gas stations, whatever. We wanted to do something a little bit different.
Any Chaldean I met in US is pretty wealthy.
They're pretty hardworking,
Yeah, very hardworking.
Yeah, very hardworking. And so what I wanted to do is, we wanted, like, at the time, I was looking at 2 things. I was looking at real estate, like apartment buildings, like commercial real estate, kind of like what Grant Cardone does, but at a smaller scale. The second thing was franchises. So I was looking at like 7-Elevens, Denny's. I was looking at like McDonald's, Taco Bell's, all these kinds of things. Like Massage Envy, all these different kinds of franchises. Because at the time I was like, all right, we don't know a whole lot about business. Like, how the hell do we know how to run it? Well, these have systems that you can leverage and so on. Somehow we ended up on restaurants. I don't even know how. If I had to go back and kind of redo it all over again, I would definitely say, no restaurants. Because let me tell you, even like fancy restaurants that we go to, we love going to, they look glamorous on the outside, but on the other side, man, they are a shit. Because these places are brutal business model to run. Yeah.
Brutal, dirty.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. And the profit margins, razor thin. No, I mean, these guys are working with like 5, 7, 8, 10%. Yeah. They're not working with a whole lot. And it's very easy to like steal and embezzle and like lose money.
Right.
So we started, somehow we landed on a pizza shop with my family. And at the time I was I think 19, I was 19 or 20 years old. It was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad running the place. After about 2.5 years, I started having, complications with my brother. He was the owner of the place. And I wanted to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He wanted to go at 2. The goal was from day one, we're going to buy multiple shops. We're going to kind of like uniform them and then franchise them and then scale. But he wanted to take 10 years. I wanted to take 2.
Yeah.
And so I convinced the family that, hey, I should branch out on my own. I should do my own thing. I know what I'm doing. Very enthusiastic, came across really confident. They took all the money that they had made from the previous few years, plus borrowed some more, invested in me, and I was going to become the savior of the family. Well, 6 months into it, I realized I did not know what the fuck I was doing. And it was the time I was driving to the place, and I got a call from Trish Henry. She was my bar manager. She said, Bashar, I went to cash my check, and the teller said there is no money in the account for them to cash the check. I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean there's no money in the account? By the time I got to the house, I went online and I saw my bank account was negative. And some people watching are like, how do you not know how much money there's in your bank account? But it's like, yeah, that's how good of an entrepreneur I was, And things were not going good. So I decided that one of the things that I was not going to invest money in was insurance. Because the place was very big. My insurance, my liability insurance was like $2,000-$3,000 a month. So I decided not to invest in there. I was like, hey, what's the worst going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, the worst happened on April 28th, 2015. I got a call from the kitchen manager, the bar manager. I was like, hey, boss, you got to come back. What's going on? Kitchen's on fire. We're all outside.
Oh, my God.
That's
horrible.
Firefighters are here. By the time I got there, everyone was outside. Half a dozen fire engines outside, and yeah, kitchen caught on fire. No insurance. And landlord decided to kick me out, sue my ass. And I was out on the curb,
That's crazy. How old were you when that happened?
25. I was 25 years old.
2 years younger than me.
Yeah, so I hit rock bottom at 25.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
I got goosebumps right now. Wow, man.
Well, that's why I always tell you, you're way ahead of me in life, because I didn't start making real money until I was like about 30 years old.
Yeah.
So
to
doing pretty well for yourself. Got a Lambo back there,
I'm like, where are you looking at? To give a little background context of how well you're doing, how much money have you made on Amazon in your entire life, roughly?
I mean, right now we have an Amazon business that does about $1.5 million a year. In total, probably like 8 to 10 million, maybe, over the last like 10 years or so.
Yeah, and you're a person that really keeps the money and invests into other things. Regardless of all the stuff going on in Miami,
yeah,
spending, instead of being a spender,
yeah,
you like to keep and invest.
I probably could have done a better job at doing that, knowing what I know today. But I've always, so I remember when we met, a little after we met, our business had scaled to about $1 million a month in revenue. And I remember being very proud in myself, keeping my expenses below $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
With a business that generates $1 million a month, right?
That's something to be proud of.
And so, yeah, I mean, I've always been fairly conservative, although knowing what I know today, I would have probably done more investing earlier on.
What were the first couple things that you started investing? Stocks, crypto, other businesses?
So the very first thing, when the trigger happened for me was, I used to follow Grant Cardone since I was like 20 years old.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, 28 years old, not 20. 28 years old, 2019. And one thing he used to always say, you probably, if any of your listeners know Grant, one thing he always says is, don't spend your earned income, invest all your earned income, and spend the money that your passive income generates. And
I wish we could do that.
Well, see, here's the thing. We all can, but we all decide not to. And it didn't click for me.
Yeah.
Until probably about 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Okay? So, because at the time I was like, talking about? I was like, yeah, well, it makes sense for him because his business is real estate. So like the vehicle that he's chosen is passive, right?
Yeah.
But then I caught myself at $36,000 a month in expenses. Okay. And this was about 2 years ago. And my business was no longer doing the kind of numbers that it was to sustain that kind of a lifestyle. And I sat down and I was like, there's more money going out of my bank account every month than money coming in. Okay, I need to kind of like look at what the hell's happening here. So I built a personal budget and I started looking at the numbers and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, well, this gotta go, this gotta go, this gotta go. Built a budget, reduced our expenses by 60% over the following like 60 days, and then another 20% by the end of 90 days. And then I realized one thing. What I realized was I had been increasing my lifestyle based on my earned income. But the thing that we don't realize is that earned income is not always going in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always, not sustainable, but it's not always going to be there because things happen.
100%.
AI comes around. You know, Trump will throw out a rule and change something.
COVID comes around.
COVID comes around, right?
At least every 10 years, something's going to happen.
Exactly.
At least.
And so what we think is that if things are going good now, they're always going to be going good. And then we start planning based on that.
Yeah.
And that's where people make mistakes.
Yeah.
But you see, the beautiful thing about passive income, it's slow and it's little, but it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Especially if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
And the rule that I created for myself is if my main income generator goes out, how much do I have left? Live on that. If it's zero, live as basic as possible until your passive income can sustain whatever, things they have. So for right now, I make about $4,500 to $5,000 a month in passive income.
Yeah.
So if I want to, obviously
Not considering your ownership in the big company, right?
No. This is just like portfolio, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, for me, I'm not, my expenses are almost triple that, right?
Yeah.
And so right now, I'm like, okay, no more adding new stuff until my passive income can get to my expenses and surpass, then I can add new stuff. Example, buying a new car, upgrading our apartment, going out more, traveling more, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so everything else that I make that's extra, I take and I invest. I take and I invest and continue growing my passive income until my passive income can sustain my lifestyle, and anything extra, then I can go and live off of that. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that we all make.
Dave Ramsey would fall in love with you, man. You know the guy Dave
Probably.
Ramsey?
Yeah, probably.
He would be like, good job, man. Good job to you, man.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. It's like, I wish I knew that like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting part. I knew that 6 years ago, but I only listened 2 years ago. But I wish I listened 4 years ago. I would have had more money.
I'm not
Let's just say
listening to that advice right
Sure,
now.
I can see that. I can see that.
But I'm heavily invested into other stuff, just not passive income right now.
Yeah.
They're just, this is an investment too, technically, because
Sure.
it's an asset.
That's a tax write-off too.
It's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Well, technically, 20% depreciation a year. That's the write-off about it. But
Well,
that's
is
like,
it? Because
yeah.
I don't know. Has Trump extended his what's it called? Because if he does, then he can write it off all in year one.
No, he did not extend.
He did not extend. Okay, but then you can extend the monthly. You can extend the monthly payments and the service and the gas.
No, you can only write off depreciation, gas, insurance, depending on how much you use it for business.
Well, you're using it for a business right now.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is business.
Yes,
Got
sir.
my license plate over there.
Exactly.
Which is the name of the podcast.
That's right.
That's
Exactly.
business.
Yes, sir.
But you can only do, if it's not over 6,000 pounds, you can only do.
Oh, it's not 6,000. Okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
20% depreciation per year.
Okay. Well,
Which
that's not bad.
still pretty good.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
pretty good.
50 grand per year
Yeah.
on write-off.
That's not bad.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I completed the purchase in 2025, so I was able to get that depreciation
in
from
the
the
first
past
year.
year.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
from
good.
the first year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but great advice. See, I learned something new as well just now. It kind of,
The thing is, when are you going to implement it? See, that's the problem,
Yeah,
and that's the problem with me.
Yeah.
It's like I know all these things, but it takes like 2 years to implement.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and I wish I can implement faster.
What is the passive income though? Like,
So,
estate? What?
okay, so I went to a Tony Robbins, I was part of his Platinum Partnership.
Okay.
So that's where you pay like 85 grand to hang out with Tony and like 400 other people a few times a year.
Guys,
And
don't look at the fact that he says his life expenses are like 10, 15 grand. He goes and pays like $100,000 to Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, who else?
yeah, but that's a
Hormozy.
business. I'm talking about personal expenses. I'm not talking. That's a business
Yeah, that's a
expense.
business-
You know what I
I
mean?
love how corporate you come across to all of this. Like
Uh-huh.
you're doing business in a new generational way, but you also treat it in a traditional corporate way too.
Well,
I
I mean,
love
you
that.
have to, right? You kind of have to.
You have to, because that means getting your shit together. And for the past 1 year, I've been implementing that, separating business life from personal life, expenses, credit cards, all of the little details, you know, paying myself a salary, paying my people an actual salary from like direct transfer deposit from QuickBooks.
Yeah.
All of those details, just the past 9, 10 months, I've been doing those.
That's good.
But
Congrats, man.
it's,
That's
it's
awesome.
a way to get there, you know, it's step by step.
Again, you're way ahead of me in life, so don't worry about it. You're doing good.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Coming back to Tony Robbins,
Yeah. So
Platinum membership.
I joined that. One event he had was in Sun Valley, Idaho. First time skiing. I'm actually going to go skiing tomorrow, 2 days, for the second time in my life
No
ever.
way.
So this was exactly 3 years ago. We went to Sun Valley, Idaho. Awesome trip. It was the finance trip or whatever. He had Ray Dalio there. He had Warren Buffett there. He had
Oh my
like
God.
all these brains. And they were talking about all these fucking crazy things, and you're just sitting there listening to all these people. It's like worth $100 billion plus, you know, and it's just crazy numbers. But I was always against investments. I was always against anything that did not have to do with my business, because in my mind it was, you know, like people talk about real estate, how it's so great. But if I try to learn about real estate and try to do real estate, it's like, well, all this time that I would be investing in real estate, investing in stocks, investing in this, what if I put it back into my business? How much more can I grow my business, right? Because I don't understand it. Like stocks, I don't understand it, and I don't have the interest to go learn it. Until Tony Robbins talked about Ray Dalio's new book, can't remember what it was called, and Ray Dalio talked about this concept or this portfolio called all-weather portfolio. So all-weather portfolio, Ray Dalio talks about uncorrelated assets. So an example is, let's say you have stocks and bonds. When stocks go up, if stocks go down, bonds wouldn't go down with them. Let's say crypto and stocks, they are uncorrelated. Like right now, the crypto is down, but stocks are not down. You know, real estate and crypto or whatever, right? Gold and whatever else. And so he kind of put it like he gave an entire strategy pretty much, and he said, this is the all-weather portfolio. It's very conservative. It's not going to grow 20, 30% over year over year, but it's not going to go down. It's going to conservatively grow year over year. And I was like, okay, this is what I want, because I take a lot of risk in my business every day. The money that I make, I don't want to worry about it. I just want to put it somewhere. I don't care if it doesn't even grow, as long as it stays. So I was like, all right, you know what? I came out of there convinced. I went to my wealth manager and I was like, I don't want you to do anything. Here's a strategy, implement it. That's it. Here's $20,000 for the next 12 months. Take 10 to 15 grand out of my bank account. Start with 15. I'll tell you when to go down to 10 if needed. And just continue like, it's called cost averaging, which is you just every month you disperse evenly amongst all the different, all the different pillars. Since then, I have invested, this was February of 2022. 2023. So February of 23, so almost 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago, actually. I ended up putting in about 320 or 370,000 in total. Now that portfolio is 520,000.
Wow.
So it's gained about 150 grand over the last 3 years. And I put in 370,000 out of my own pocket.
Here you go, passive income.
Which is not bad at all. This year, it'll probably do about 55 to 60 grand in passive income. I haven't put any money into it since like Q2 of last year, and then now it's just compounding on its own.
Yeah.
So every year it grows about 8 to 11% year over year. So that's one portfolio that I have that's very passive, that's there, and my goal is to continue adding money. My goal is to get that portfolio to $100,000 a month in passive income. And for me to do that, I need, I think, 12 to 15 million. So I'm, you know, I'm a long
That's
way from
amazing.
there. Yep.
Really good. I wish Dave Ramsey was here right now to hear all of this. Very, very nice, man. So that's the passive income. Coming back to the restaurant business, what was the number one thing that kept you going when everything was falling down apart? Things were horrible. Restaurant burning down, a lot of debt to pay.
At the time, it was making my dad proud.
Wow, what a
You
great
know?
answer.
Yeah, because
Super deep.
he was a very successful entrepreneur in Iraq in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. He was probably worth like $40–50 million in the 80s.
Whoa.
And then there was a war between Iraq and Kuwait in the 1991. The U.S. placed sanctions on Iraq. The Iraqi dinar went from like $1 equaling $3 to $1 equaling like 1,200 dinars. So massive inflation. The Iraqi dinar just took a nosedive, and he lost everything, and he was never able to recoup. So I always wanted to like be the guy that like brings back the family legacy, you know?
Yeah.
And at the time he had invested everything he had in me, and he like believed in me, you know. Especially, I love my other siblings, but you know, some of them didn't really turn out the way
How many
that
siblings do you have?
he wished. So we're 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Cool.
You know, and so I was like, I'm gonna be the guy, I'm gonna be the one, and he's the person that I really admire a lot, and he's the reason why I became an entrepreneur. And so I thought, okay, I want to keep going, and every day it was like him that I wanted to make proud. You know, when things went good, even until now, whenever the business does well, the first call that I pick up, I don't even tell Rueda. The first thing I do is I call my dad, you know?
Man, I'm the same, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so
Similar story.
I wanted to not to please him, but make him proud, you know? And so giving up on that place to me meant letting my dad down.
Why not your mom though? Why your dad?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
It's interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
I think about this too. Somehow guys want to make their dad proud.
Yeah, I don't.
We want to prove? Or is it some sort of competition or is it out of love?
It was, you know, there's some guys that want to show their dad that, you know what, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
It was never like that for me.
Yeah, mine too.
It was not that. It was just more of like keeping the family legacy going, keeping the name going, making him proud. And maybe if my dad's businesses had kept on going and he had continued becoming, you know, being who he was, maybe I would have taken the other route of I don't want to use your name or your money. I want to do it on my own. Maybe. But maybe because it kind of broke for him, I wanted to like bring him back up. I don't know, you know, because I know I was working with a few people that, you know, I remember a guy that came and took a job, $600 a month, working in our marketing team, and his dad was worth like $200 million.
What? $600 a month?
$600 a month, but he wanted 15% of everything he generated, and he was making $2 million a month. The marketing guys,
Oh, okay.
you know,
I remember.
and
You wanted to show a W-2 income?
he didn't care about the 600. He's like, hey, $600 it just pays for the tools or whatever. He's like, I'm gonna make millions, and I'm gonna make I want to make percentage of the millions, and he did. He was making like $2.5–3 million a year from us. You know what I mean? So he was doing very good. He was making us $20 million a year. So like I was very happy to pay him a couple $1 million a year.
Yeah.
But his goal was to show his dad that he can do it on his own. That he didn't need his dad's money. He didn't need, because his dad owned like half a dozen businesses, and he's like, dude, come take over whichever you want. I don't want it. I want to build my own thing. So maybe if that was my case, that's kind of what I would have turned out. But
Yeah. Things weren't
part of me,
different.
I just wanted to like bring him back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, as an immigrant, do you feel more advantage, more power in the US, or you feel less?
Definitely more. Because I don't think people here know what they have. I think they're too complacent. You know? And I think us as immigrants can also get complacent after being here a while.
Is that more of a mindset thing, cultural? You think you know more? You think you're more experienced?
No, it's not that. It's because the lack of experiences back home and the lack of opportunities back home. Because, like, example, when I was in Iraq, especially the last 3 years, after the war, we would go to sleep not knowing if we were going to wake up the next morning, because
That's
there was literally war in the streets. There were, like, you would be sitting down having lunch, and then before you know it, the freaking the house is shaking because there's a whole, you know, there's Humvees and tanks literally walking in front of your door,
Constant
right?
goosebumps, bro.
All the time. And then before you know it, like 30 minutes after they pass, you see the jihadis coming right after them, and then with a freaking few rockets, and then they shoot and then they run. And then now Apaches come and start fucking shooting down at them. It's like, I'm just trying to have lunch here. And that was like once a week.
Oh my God.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, I'm glad that like it's outside and then not in here, because sometimes it happens. They come take over your freaking house and they start shooting out of your house because they know the American, what's it called? They're not going to come and shoot down houses because they know there's families living there, or they don't care, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, fuck, I survived another day. So that was like the everyday opportunity for us. And again, like, I say this, and maybe to the viewer, like, that sounds extreme, but I know there's other parts of the world that have it way worse than whatever I had it, you know? Because we still lived in a nice neighborhood and a nice house. Like, we still, you know, we still had all that stuff.
But still, you experienced that. And
But again, that was what I, you know, that were like the last few years that I remember in Iraq. Now, you leave that and you come to the United States of America, the wealthiest country in the world, the American dream, where the land of opportunities, the safest place on planet Earth, right? The mightiest military.
go, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like you watch it in the movies, bro.
Yeah.
You see it in the movies,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow. And then now you're here. Like, I still remember the very first freaking day that I woke up in America. So we land, and here, how about this? Do you know what day we land to America? 06, 06, 06. 666.
Oh
the
my
devil's
God.
number.
Oh my God. That's
So-
crazy.
June 7,
Uh-huh.
2006, the next day,
Uh-huh.
I go to my uncle's house. He lives in Detroit, Michigan, in this beautiful subdivision, this beautiful house, perfectly cut grass with the perfect corners and the perfect sidewalk, all these perfect, like, white fenced houses. Have you been to Detroit?
No, haven't been.
It's all green. You know how it is here? It's all green. Houses are open to each other, and there's so much green in the middle, bro. It's crazy.
The real
So
American
peaceful,
dream.
real
Yeah.
American dream. And I opened my eyes, and it was fairly early because the time zone difference and all that. It was maybe like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Everyone's sleeping, and I can hear like the sound of the birds. I haven't fucking heard birds trickling in the morning in years, because all you can hear is bullets and shit every morning, right?
Yeah.
And yelling and honking and all that crap. And I can hear the sound. The window is open a little bit. It's summer, but in Detroit, it's like kind of like this weather right here, you know, in the morning. And I can hear the sound of the wind. I can hear the voice of the birds. And I can hear a child laughing outside. And then a language I don't understand. And, you know, like, you're just waking up, like, you don't know what the fuck is going on, you know? I'm like, what's happening? So I open my eyes and I see my brother sleeping next to me.
Oh my God, man.
And I'm like,
this is sad, bro.
where the fuck am I? I'm like, oh shit. I'm at my uncle's house in America. And I remember, bro, and I remember I get up, so the bed frame, the head of the bed is on the window. So I get up like this on the window and I look through the window, seeing the perfectly cut grass, all the perfect fences, and I see this dad pushing his daughter on a bike, and he's teaching her how to ride her bike. And then the golden shepherd dog on the side. It's like perfect from a fucking movie, you know?
Oh my God.
And I'm just looking
I
at
would
him
not
like,
believe this if I didn't know you, man, honestly.
bro, and I'm
like-
looking at him like, what the fuck? Where am I right now? And it hit me. Like, oh my God. I don't need to worry about missiles anymore. I don't need to worry about bullets anymore. I don't need to worry about not waking up the next morning. And that's where the paradigm shift happened. I was like, shit, I can actually now dream 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now. And then my mom introduced me to her cousin who was a doctor. And she started injecting in my brain, if you want to become successful, you got to go to school and become a doctor, you know?
Yeah.
And I was very smart in school. And so that made sense. And then now I started seeing the possibilities. And I went to my aunt's house. Holy shit, bro. 4,000 square foot home, sitting on an 1.5 acre land. I'm just looking, I'm like, what in the hell is this? All the big fountains and the big, and then in Detroit, it's all like big plains and just big spaces,
Coming from Iraq.
From Iraq, and it, like, not Iraq 60s, 70s, 80s, Iraq 2000s, where it's just like destroyed, going to that. And that's when I was like, holy shit, I can now start dreaming. So the problem with people that are born here, whether Americans or not Americans or whatever, is that, especially if they haven't traveled, they don't know what's there. So that's why I believe, and that's why, they always say immigrants have a drive that is just like unmatching.
Yeah.
Because they come from a place of suppression. And then they come to the place like this capitalism and opportunities, and it's like, bro, I'm about to devour everything around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That said, I also know people that, what is it, racism and this thing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? We both are in the same situation. You're seeing it one way, I'm seeing it a different way. I think it's just the mindset, and it's a mental frame that you can shift. Because why is it that I'm walking into the same setting and I'm seeing it this way, you're seeing it that way? It's the lens that we're seeing things through, So.
Yeah. It's definitely the land of opportunities, man. People ask me, why US? I have like very specific examples about finance, economy, but more importantly for me, I learned English at a very young age, right? I learned English at 15.
Nice.
My English was perfect at 15, 16. I started learning 10, 11 maybe, but it was perfect at 15, 16. So early on, I started researching about what's special about America. What makes America actually America? Why the fuck do they call it the land of opportunity? And I figured it has a lot to do with economy. Personal opportunities are more, yes, but I'm not talking about that. More like, if you want to do a business at an early age and you've been like, let's say you're 22, you've been paying off your credit cards well, you have a car lease, you've been paying that well, you bought a couple things for yourself and you paid off your credit cards and you're building a history with banks. This is the only country that opens its doors to a lot of money for you.
Yes.
That's what I learned at a very young age. And then I'm like as an immigrant, I'm looking at my personal situation right now. I have an insanely large amount of credit where if I was living in another country, including my own, no bank, no country is willing to give me that sort of opportunity. Yes, I'm not going and spending it all, but I could if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could use the bank's opportunities in my own advantage. And I am technically doing that on a smaller scale, but when you look at it that way too, like it's just so crazy the amount of money there is out there. And I've only had my credit history for 3 years now, but I have a lot of access to money right now.
Yes.
It's just so crazy to me.
Yes.
A normal average 27-year-old in Turkey right now has a max credit line of $5,000. That's a very good scenario, a very good. But I know people here, Americans, that could spend up to $1 million with their credit line right now. Like their max amount of spend is $1 million. To me, that's something that I kind of like wanted to be in America, because as more I improve in this sense in banking in America, the more loans and the more banks open their door to me, the more business I can do and the more comfortable I can be later on. That's one of my main reasons.
Two things for me that I think America is so unique that the system has been able to accomplish that no other country in the world has been able to accomplish is two things. Number one, the power of capitalism. And they really understand capitalism, and they really understand that government is not meant to create economy. The economy needs to be created by the entrepreneur, by the person, by the people, versus government. Government is like a support system. Think about it. Let's think about it as a business. There's three major functions in a business, major departments, and then one that is a support function. The main functions are sales, marketing, fulfillment. So marketing does the, the outreach and creates message. Sales converts the prospects, and then fulfillment fulfills on the service that was sold. Correct?
Yeah.
And then the support system, the support kind of mechanism is like admin, finance, legal, financing, contracts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what government really is. Think of capitalism as marketing, sales, and fulfillment, and government as admin and finance. That's what America understands. Other countries, including mine from Iraq, is completely the opposite. Admin and finance, which is the support function, government, is the God. We create opportunities, we do this, we do that, and then all of you peasants have to rely on us.
Obey on us. And
Well, that's not how it works, bro. Because all of you are career politicians, and all you want is your own interest, and you don't give a shit about everybody else. But the entrepreneur who starts from ground zero, who's trying to make it work with nothing, that's the person that understands how to create opportunity for themselves
5,000,
and everybody
people.
else. Exactly. Small businesses in America employ 57% of all the labor force in the country. 57%, bro. Small business in America, there's 33 million small businesses in America. They employ 57% of the labor force.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, which is capitalism. The second thing that I believe America has done better than any other country, and I know the last, I don't want to turn it into a political, podcast, but the thing that the last administration fucked up on, and then now Trump has kind of overcorrected, I think, which is immigration. Immigration created this country.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because instead of saying, okay, we are Iraqis or we are Turkish, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring all the Turkish smart people together to build this thing, and all the Iraqi people, America said, no. We're going to bring the smartest Iraqis, the smartest Turkish, the smartest Germans, the smartest, Asians, the smartest this, and we're going to put them all in a room and say, go build something great.
Yeah.
And that's why America is America. Because they allowed people, because if you think about it, there is really no Americans, real Americans. There's only just the natives,
I
right?
just posted about this yesterday.
Exactly, there's just the natives. Everybody else is an immigrant. They're just maybe not first generation, second, third, fourth generation, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like everyone came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Trump came from somewhere.
You know what I said? I was like, when you speak to an Asian, African, Arab, I don't know, Hispanic person, and you ask them, where you from? They answer you, I'm American. You just shut up over there. You don't continue asking, okay, but where exactly are you from?
Yeah, where are your ancestors?
Bro, if that person felt warm enough, they would have already told you. Or maybe they're gonna tell you in a second, but you're pushing them to say, I can see that you're not American because of your looks.
Yep.
But you try to act like it, then there's this weird conversation going on.
Yep.
I'm like, if an Asian person tells you they're American, they're probably American.
Yep.
If not, they're gonna tell it to you in a second where their parents are from.
Yep.
They might be South Korean, they might be Japanese, whatever. But don't keep on asking, because America is Hispanic people, is white people, is Arab people. Anyone is American.
Yes.
Here. You don't have to hold a passport if you're contributing to the system.
Yep.
In my opinion, you're basically an American. As long as you're contributing in a legal way.
And that's what makes America America.
Right.
It's because it allows opportunities, not just to its own people, because it doesn't really have its own people, right?
Yeah.
But it allows opportunities to everybody else.
Yeah. What would happen though if Bashar kept living in Iraq? Would you still be successful?
Yes. Short answer is yes. At what level, I don't know. Maybe more successful than I am right now, maybe less successful, I don't know. Maybe I would have been dead. There's probably about a 20% chance that I would have been dead. Just because
crazy to think about, man.
Yeah, just because of like what the believe it or not, I have several friends and friends of my brother that actually died because of the war. Either because they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time, they got kidnapped and they got shot, I almost got kidnapped a couple times. This was a big thing after the war, especially because there was like all these little militias and all these gangs that got formed.
Right.
There was really no government. So they knew, like, let's say this neighborhood right here, you've got the gang down the street that like knows, you've got a Lamborghini. If the government goes down, it's like, okay, we know we're going to fucking come and rob John Burke. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So it's like the same thing.
I'll be out. Wrong house, bitch.
So what people would do, it's like, we know they got money.
Yeah.
They come kidnap the kid or whatever and ask for ransom,
Yeah.
So that was like a very, very, very common thing. You know, it almost became a business. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're gonna just kidnap a few people.
Yeah.
The crazy ones ended up never giving the people back, shooting them in the face or whatever. You know.
Talking about that, I have a question that I just thought about. Do you think carrying a gun in US is necessary? Huge subject, but what is your take on it?
So guns scare me, right? So I'm probably not the right person to ask because I will probably say no.
If you were living in a house?
In the house, I think it makes sense to have it in the house. I don't know if to carry around you, you know, like around with like in the car or whatever. Here's what I have. So I'm going to tell you opinion. I'm going to tell you stat. There was a stat that because I know that last year, Florida made it legal for you to have a carry-on.
Open carry license. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was because there was a stat that came out of, I don't know which state, that they said the average crime rate went down by like 20 or 30% from the time that they made it legal for people to carry.
Yeah.
Because now people had a second thought before they can start trouble with anyone. It's like, okay, it's legal for everyone to carry. This person probably is carrying. I'm not trying to get shot. So it's like, I don't want problems, you know? So that's that. Opinion, number one, guns scare me. You know, and that's probably not a good thing. I should probably get a little bit more comfortable around guns. They are fun to shoot and stuff like that, but like, I don't just having them around just kind of scare me. I don't know why. I've just never, like, I wasn't raised with guns, although I lived in a freaking war zone. You would think otherwise. But I feel like it's kind of like, you know, when there's that saying, if you take a good person, put them in a bad situation, you can turn them bad. If you take a bad person, put them in a good situation, you can turn them good. I feel like access can also turn you bad. Like if, for example, if I had just a little bit of like road rage without a gun, maybe whatever, I'll get crazy. But if I had a gun in my glove compartment and I had a little bit of road rage, one day I might snap and pull out my gun and shoot somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely.
So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did your family react to you making good money online?
I would say probably happy. Confused.
Right? Shocked?
Because they, you know, I don't think they still know what I do exactly. I would say just mostly like happy and proud, you know? That would be probably like the main, kind of the main reaction.
Aren't they a little bit scared that you made like millions of dollars online, that they think you're doing something wrong?
Not wrong, but I know my mom in the very early on when I would like talk about money and making money and all that, you know, because there's a saying in Arabic and in Iraq especially, and especially my mom, she'd be like don't flaunt your wealth, don't tell people about how much you're making because they'll envy you, you know, they'll like jinx you or whatever.
Call it the nazar.
Nazar? Okay, what does that mean?
It's like envying, basically.
Yep.
Someone envying you and you get bad luck because of
Exactly.
Yeah.
So pretty much that, you know? So she would tell me like, don't talk about it. I'm like, Mom, that's kind of why I make money. It's because I show people, you know, how much money I make, and then they want to also do the same thing, and then I show them, you know what I mean? But then she kind of got it, you know, after a little while, like after like telling me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and me saying, dude, just like relax.
Yeah.
But I would say mostly just like proud and happy for me, you know, because I think parents at the end of the day want you to do good.
Yeah,
like the reason
for
why
sure.
my mom wanted me to become a doctor is not because it was probably part of it ego for her, like my son is a doctor, you know. But I think at the end of the day, she wanted me to have a good life, and then for her, a good life is like getting a degree, getting a good degree, and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, man, honestly, I can't imagine what would have happened if I listened to my parents, because same thing happened. They wanted me to be an engineer, construction. And I would have basically been working in a company for $6,000 a month right now, probably zero savings, most likely in debt, and just jumping from opportunity to opportunity, complaining that I don't have time, and then maybe not even time for gym because I'll be working a lot. So that was kind of their advice, and I saw that coming, and I was like, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm out. I'm not gonna go through that path.
What do they think now?
They're extremely proud, man. They're I don't know what I can say. They're very shocked. They didn't know a 25, 26, 27-year-old can make it really big without like making big connections in the world, without knowing the right people. You know, the way in different countries, the way they look at making money is kind of different. You got to know like insane connections. You got to have all the governmental connections, you know, to make millions of dollars, and you got to know like these important businessmen to open the doors for you. That's sort of the mindset most people have in Turkey as well. But with the online world, for the past 10 years, maybe 12, 15 years, things have changed. I think in the entire world, where I don't need no fucking body. I don't need nobody to do business with me. I'm fine. Like, I sell stuff online and I don't need someone's permission. I don't need someone to trust me. I don't need an investor. I'm totally fine with a couple friends investing 30, 50 grand in different products with me. I don't care what people think, basically.
Yep.
So you can make money like that nowadays, you know? You can be 19 and printing millions. I know guys who are making millions on TikTok right now, selling on TikTok. And they use zero of their connections. In terms of, you got to know people, you know? Like, there's no such thing left anymore, in my opinion.
It's just a different world. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And so, like, people are going to give you advice based on their worldview. But obviously, and that's the thing is, like, there was, I don't know if you saw the Alex Hormozi, Tony Robbins interview recently, like a couple of weeks ago.
It's been on my wait list.
Yeah.
The watch list.
So technically everyone, a lot of people were commenting and reposting about it, especially on Facebook, my Facebook friends, talking about how, like, over the last couple of years, I've been listening to Alex Hormozi, but now knowing what I know, it's like, I probably shouldn't have been listening to him because he's optimizing for this and I'm optimizing for happiness and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. But the problem is, oftentimes, we take people's advice as gospel. Like, I tell you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you do exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember what I always tell you? It's like, at the end of the day, it's your decision. I'm going to give you whatever I know based on my own knowledge, but that doesn't mean that's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the webinar thing that we were talking about. I said, do this for that, for this audience. You kind of did this, but for this audience and that audience. It worked, it didn't work. You're like, all right, next time I'm going to do this and that and test, you know? And that's the thing. It's like, if your parents tell you to do something, it's like they're giving you advice to the best of their knowledge based on their worldview. Like right now, for example, for me, giving advice to like an 18 or 19-year-old, it might not make sense to follow the same path I followed. Because like, it's a completely freaking different world.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, as you said, there's like 18, 19-year-olds doing shit. I'm like, you're doing what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you doing exactly? And you're just crushing it. Like, don't even know what the hell that means.
Yeah, right.
You know? So it's, at the end of the day, it's like having the wisdom. And that's kind of the difficult thing about it, is having the wisdom to take information and then have your own filter that you trust to create your own decisions based on that.
Yeah.
And then trust yourself to like iterate, test.
100%. Even between us, I took like, I would say 60% of your advices.
Yep.
And I was against 40% of your advices. I still took them, but I changed it in my ways.
Yep.
So
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. Sometimes you tell me, for sure, don't do this. And I'm like, but I think it's going to work. You're like, no, I don't think it's going to work. Sometimes I go and do it.
Yep.
And we've seen that it works.
Yep.
And sometimes you were super accurate with your things that it did not work.
Yep.
And that's how it should be, basically.
Yes, sir.
Besides your wife and family, who plays a really big role in your success?
God. I would say probably like number one. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I mean, literally, you know.
What do you exactly mean, though?
I truly believe that every person was put on this earth to serve a specific mission. It's like we're all puzzle pieces, and there is this big thing that needs to happen, and that's going to happen, and we're all kind of our own little puzzle pieces that are going to be there and do our own thing. We all have a path, and I believe there's a reason why sometimes you'll be on one path and you're really convinced that this is the right path, but then it's almost like just magically you get removed and then placed into this brand new path. And then you realize, oh shit, this is actually a lot better than that, you know? But it's like, yeah, this is where you were supposed to be all along, but you just kind of drifted off and ended up here. But he knows kind of when to remove you and put you in the right place at the right time. As long as you show up with good intentions, good things happen to you. It's kind of like karma. You know, people talk about karma. You know, karma's bitch. There is good karma and there is bad karma, you know?
How often do you talk to God?
I try on a daily basis. I have my own prayer that I pray on every Saturday. I can't do Sunday, but every Saturday there's a church nearby that I just go in for about 15, 20 minutes. I pray and stuff like that.
Every morning, as far as I know, you were doing it too, right?
Every morning I pray. I have a prayer that I do. It's part of my meditation. So part of my meditation, I do a meditation and I do a prayer. Yeah, I mean, I would say nothing that I have or don't have happened because of me. It was all because of God. It would, you know, Dave Ramsey says it. He's like, I'm just managing his assets. It's not mine. It's not mine to keep. It's not mine to have.
What a powerful
I'm just
quote.
managing his assets. That's all it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Insane how we have different religions, different beliefs, but everything is pretty much the same.
Well, we come from the same place. I mean, it doesn't matter what, you know.
Right?
I do believe that there is one God that's, and you know, that we all come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless what your religion is, it's kind of like, you know, you doing drop shipping and me doing private label. We're both doing e-commerce. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We're both praying. Are you a millionaire right now?
Yeah, I'm worth about 10.5 million.
10.5.
Yeah.
That's considering your ownership in companies, private equity, or?
Yeah. Oh, it's all of it together. Yeah. I was worth about 30 a couple of years ago, but now I'm 10.5. Yeah.
How did it drop 20 million?
My business, my active income business was worth a lot more than what it is right now. Yeah. But its revenue dropped, so my net worth has dropped. Luckily, I made a few good investment decisions early on, which I unintentionally, which brought my my what's
I think it
called
was
my net
pretty
worth.
intentional, man. You knew the thing that you invested in was going to be a success.
I knew it was going to be a success, but I wasn't out looking for it.
Yeah.
It just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the thing about good intentions, right? Like I had good intentions. I was there at the right place at the right time. Like I wasn't looking, right? It just happened. It's the same thing. Like all of my...
But you technically took the risk, man.
I
say
did.
if you didn't meet Sam Owens. How'd you meet Sam Owens? You took a risk.
Oh, for sure.
And you met Sam Owens.
Oh, for sure.
And you had personal connections with him.
For sure.
So that's how it came onto your lap. It's not like some magical stick just...
Yeah, no. I'm not saying it was luck. I don't believe in luck, but it was like I wasn't out looking for it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I've noticed in life. Usually, I'm always reluctant to say this because, you know, they say good things happen to people who wait or whatever, patience or whatever the hell that is. I don't know. I'm on the fence on that. I'm like, I sometimes, you know, go on this side, sometimes on that side, because I don't believe that if you just sit around and put your feet up, good things will happen to you. I do believe that you need to be, you know, prepared. You need to be taking action and stuff like that. But then sometimes also, if you really try to force things, they don't happen. Like I've forced investments before and I've lost. I've invested in, I think, 6 businesses, 6 or 7. 4 of 7. 4 of them did not do well, and I lost about 400 grand, 350, 400 grand. And then 3 did well. One of them is doing very well, where like 80% of my net worth comes from. The second one does well. It's probably worth about $1 million, $1.5 million. And then the third one is just cash flow. It makes me like $2 grand a month or something like that. It's maybe worth like $100,000, but it's more of a cash flowing business. But neither of them was I like forcing. The ones that like are doing well, I wasn't out forcing it. The ones that didn't do well, I was trying to force it.
Yeah.
You know? So sometimes you do have to like, that urgency, you have to be very wise about having that urgency because sometimes there's bad urgency that drives you into making bad decisions.
Definitely. What do you think about the journey with me? When I met you, I was making about 8-10 grand a month at max.
Yep.
And now, sitting in a house.
Doing pretty well.
Nice car.
Yeah.
I'm only asking because this happened with your advice, man. This happened because of me following your footsteps to investing, business, the way I do e-commerce, everything. It kind of happened. You play a big role in it.
Yeah. I'm going to take a page out of, I've heard both Gary Vee and Dave Ramsey say this. I didn't do anything, you did it. you know, because at the end of the day, you had to make the decisions. At the end of the day, you had to, you know, make the calls. At the end of the day, you had to shoot the content. You had to fire people, hire people, sell the course, fulfill on this, take this opportunity, say no to that opportunity. So I didn't really do much. Maybe I just gave some insight, but really it was you that did it, you know? Because believe it or not, I could have given the same exact direction to someone else and they would have stayed exactly where they were
Right.
4, 5, 6 years ago when I met you. And in fact, it's happened.
Right.
There is a few people that I know that we hang out and then I give advice to, and then either they don't do anything or they do completely the opposite. And then when we hang out, it's like, yeah, but I didn't do this. I did this other thing. And it's like, but I fucking said do that. You know, like, why are you never doing what I say to do? It's like, well, you know, I've had a lot of that. I've had consulting clients, guys that paid me $10, $20, $30,000 to actually take my advice. And I tell them to do something, and then every time we hang out or meet again, there's a specific person that I'm thinking about right now, like 3 months after, he spent 15 grand with me. And we spent a full day. He flew, I don't know where the fuck he came from, but he flew like across country. He came spend an entire day with me. I gave him an entire 90-day plan.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, if you follow this, you will double your business, okay? As far as I know, he has not done a single fucking thing.
Oh my God.
There was another kid that we did similar thing, was me and Aaron actually. It was our first like consulting kind of one-on-one type of thing. And within 90 days or 85 days, I think, he said that he increased his sales by 70%. So nearly doubled his business, right? So it's honestly, it's all about execution. At the end of the day, it's the person, what are they gonna do with it?
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. It's execution. Idea doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah, as Harmozy says, businesses never die due to a lack of new ideas. They die due to a lack of great execution.
Very well said, man. Super well said. If you were starting the journey again, where would you start now? Imagine you're back when you're 20 years old and you're starting with all the tools that we have right now. So 20, 26, but Bashar's only 20.
Okay, so
That's crazy.
So you're not saying that if I were to do my years all over again, but if I
No.
was 20 today,
Yes.
I would go into AI 100%.
Knowing what you know now,
AI. I would find a company that I believe in where it's going,
AI e-commerce,
just AI in general. Something that is AI first. And a company, I wouldn't start my own business. I would say, okay, the next 2 years, I'm gonna invest it in learning everything I need to know about this thing.
okay.
And then at the end of the 2 years, I'm gonna make a decision. Either continue with this company under their wing or go off to do my own thing. I did it the hard way. I started my own businesses. Anyone listening right now that's a teenager or under 25, I would highly recommend don't start your own business. First, find a company that you believe in and that you see yourself working there for the next 2 years. And think about it as they are an investor in your future.
Great. I did that. Remember?
Yeah, you did.
2.5 years,
You did.
almost 3. That's where I kind of learned the details of e-commerce too.
Yes.
I learned how to manage a team, be in a company where 300 people are employed,
Yes.
and payroll is going on. The boss is continuously managing something.
Yes.
I had 4 bosses and all the e-commerce. I had a team under me. I was 19, but I had a team of fucking 7.
And that's why you had faster success than I did when I was your age. I tried to do it all by myself, on my own. I started, first business, it was a family business at 19, 20. But then from the age of 23, I was on my own, starting my own businesses. And from 23 until 28 or 29, I launched a total of 8 businesses from scratch, by myself, no mentors, none of that. And it was just fucking launch, fail, launch, fail, launch, fail. Instead, what I should have done, even before I did a restaurant, even before I took a business with my family, what I should have done is, let's say I want to do restaurants. Okay, I had a bunch of uncles that owned restaurants.
Yeah.
Who's one that I resonate with? Who's one that I like most? Hey, uncle, how about you pay me a minimum wage? I'm just going to work here. I don't care even if I sweep the floor, even if I make you chai every day. I don't care. I'm just going to come here and you're going to be an investor in my future, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the thing that a lot of people, like the 9 to 5 gets a bad rep because people look at it as a way to pay bills. I tell people, look at it as a way to learn while you get paid.
Yeah.
And you will actually appreciate your 9 to 5 a lot more, because right now you're like, oh, I'm giving all this and I'm only getting this much. It's like, no. You're giving this much and giving you this much, because they're not only paying you, but you're learning. But your dumbass is going there with a closed mind and with a bad attitude and not learning.
If I was able to clone myself, I would put one of myself to Starbucks as a barista.
Yeah.
I would put myself as an accountant. I would put myself as a lawyer firm assistant, whatever, learning how law is going on. Not necessarily to become a lawyer, but to learn how business people deal with law. And then accountant, I said, and then service-based businesses. And then also I would put myself into a investment area business as a totally beginner 9 to 5. What a good example you just gave, because, you know, I'm genuinely saying this. Really, like, if I had time, I would love to go and experience all of these businesses. I think it's fucking fun to be a Starbucks barista.
Well, see, the interesting thing right now is you can learn everything that they do without actually doing it by having a couple conversations with ChatGPT.
Right.
You know, obviously you're not going to get the real life example, the real life experience, but that's a beautiful thing about AI. But that's what I would do, is I would find an AI first company, something that I resonate with, something that I can get as close as possible to the founder. Because I don't want to be like 3-4 levels under. I'm not really going to learn. Because I might be under a junior leader that doesn't even know what the fuck they're doing. I want to work as close to the founder. The founder doesn't even need to have experience. You know, like someone under you, for example, right now, bro, they would learn so much, you know, because you're driving, you're fucking hustling, you're crushing it. Even under you 3-4 years ago, they would learn so much, right? Like imagine you at 25 and a 19-year-old comes and shadows you for like 6 months. They would learn so much from you, right? AI first though, because the next 3 to 5 years, the entire world is gonna evolve around AI. In 2025, $1 billion per day was being deployed into AI. 1 billion per day. In 2026, that number is going to 3 billion. Every day, $3 billion are being deployed into AI. Infrastructure, tools, manufacturing, all that kind of stuff.
Unbelievable.
So we are right now in an AI first world. And if you don't know AI, if you're not involved in it, you are behind.
100%. Man, I can't thank you enough for coming here. Great podcasts. We talked about business, entrepreneurship, your journey, my journey, and what would you do if you were to be a young entrepreneur today. Man, I appreciate it a lot. And lastly, I want to ask you, what would be the 2 books that you would recommend for a beginner entrepreneur from Turkey, from US, doesn't matter. What would be the 2 books? Not 3, because it kind of sounds overwhelming.
Too much?
So 2 is really good.
Yep. I know which 2. I'm gonna go mindset, because mindset is 80% of the equation.
By who?
I said I'm gonna go both mindset.
Oh, okay.
The first one is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's a very short book. It's probably like 20, 30 pages. It's the best read that I've had, and it's a read. It's at least once a year read. It's a reread. So
As a Man?
As a Man Thinketh.
As a Man Thinketh.
By James Allen. The second book I would recommend is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by something T. Harv. I don't know what his first name is.
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. One of the very first things that I learned from there, and the best things that I learned from there that I wish I knew a couple of years ago, was this thing called the money thermostat. And that everyone has a high and a low money thermostat. And that when you get to your low money thermostat, that's when you kick into gear and you go into survival mode and you start hustling and so on. But then when you get to the high money thermostat, you kind of kick back and you put up your feet. You've probably felt it. I know I've definitely felt it, right? It's like we've got that number, and when we get close to it, it's like, life is good. I've made it.
100%.
I'm good. And before you know it, 3-4 months later, woo! You're like, oh shit. And then you start grinding, and then you get there, and you're like, oh, life is good. And then we're always in the cycle.
Yeah.
But if you continue increasing that money thermostat, you'll always continue grinding, always continue growing, because if you're not growing and you're sustaining or stabilizing, gravity pulls you down. You know?
Whoa. So powerful. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for being
Appreciate
here.
you. Yeah.
Coming an hour away from Sunny Isles. I really appreciate it. Let's do another podcast in the next quarter.
Let's do it.
And thank you guys for listening. Have a good one. Görüşürüz. Kendinize iyi bakın.